Hi, and welcome along to AFTV. We are here for the live Champions League draw. We are going to find out who Arsenal have in the round of 16. We, of course, have qualified. Joining me to discuss that, I've got Laurie here, Cecil's in the building, and Turkish. We're all here waiting on the draw. Also going to find out who we've got next. Now, of course, let me just remind you again about the teams that have qualified for the draw. Liverpool, Arsenal, Inter Milan, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Bayer Leverkusen, Aston Villa, Lille, PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Benfica, PSV, Club Brugge, Borussia Dortmund and Feyenoord. And out of those teams, of course, Arsenal can get either PSV or Feyenoord. We're going to get into that in a little bit. The eliminated teams, Atalanta, Manchester City, Sporting, AC Milan, Real shocked that one, and Juventus, two of the teams that we could have faced. Monaco, Celtic, Brest, Dynamo Zagreb, Stuttgart, Shakhtar, Bologna, Krasnodar, Sturm Graz, Sparta Prague, RB Leipzig, Girona, RB Salzburg, Slovan Bratislava and Young Boys. They are all out. And of course, in this new format, they don't drop down into the Europa League. They're just out completely. So we know now that, those are going to be the teams that are left in it. And we know now, of course, that we're going to face one of either Feyenoord, who really surprisingly beat AC Milan, or we will face PSV, who were very impressive in that second leg, beating Juventus. Let me go to you, Turkish. Who out of those two do you want? We're going Dutch. We're going Dutch.
Are we staying in Amsterdam or what's going on?
Dutch on the bill, boy.
It's two of them both Dutch teams. PSV been doing well in their league, challenging to win the title this season. Feyenoord not doing as well. Arne Slot's old club, of course. Out of those two, which two would you prefer?
Feyenoord. Easy choice for me, man. As light as possible a route to the final. That's what I'm looking to take, and I think PSV definitely pose a lot more threat. And I think Feyenoord. What's this news about Van Persie?
I think the Van Persie supposedly going to be taking over there.
So it'd be nice to give him a little slap. I'll call it a little slap because he gave us a big slap when he went to United and won the league. Yes, to give him a little slap in the Champions League.
You'll be screaming down that camera. I know you will be. If we score you at that RVP, you'll be going mad.
Who would you rather?
Feyenoord. This is very. We played PSV so many times, and I've said I know it's over two legs, but
got a good record against them. They did knock us out of the Champions League. Do you remember that time? What was that defender?
The Brazilian guy. Yeah.
They knocked us out of the Champions League.
Yeah, we mean you
Alex.
at that game.
Yeah,
Alex.
Yeah. And I remember every time we've been away there, our record's not good going away there. Yes, when they come home, when we come to our ground, we've smacked them a few times. When we play away, I remember Xavi Simons and Simons saying some things. I remember, a few of their strikes. It's difficult when we go away, I think, there, and I don't want to go away there again. I think they can throw up problems, and obviously they're second, Feyenoord are fourth in the league in the Eredivisie. I think,
and they've lost their key striker.
Right,
he went AC.
Jimenez, and then got knocked out by.
He scored against them. Yeah,
I've actually worked with Jimenez as well, obviously internationally. He's a good player, but. So Feyenoord is the obvious answer, and also a ground I haven't been to. I know I'm doing the Julian thing here, but it'd be nice to go somewhere a bit different. But I think Feyenoord is the obvious answer. But I know,
I would agree with that. Yeah, one's second, one's fourth, and it's interesting because Feyenoord, there's another Arsenal connection because Jurrien Timber's brother Quinton plays for Feyenoord.
Apparently he's out for the season.
Yeah, but he's out injured, so that would have been interesting.
Surely it's them, man. No, key player out for the season, key player gone in January. I definitely want Feyenoord.
But we shouldn't be too complacent because, Feyenoord, they put out AC Milan and PSV, they put out
We shouldn't be complacent
against anyone.
If we look at our team, and this is not taking away from Arsenal, but look at the injuries we have.
There you go. You see, I'm pretty sure Juve and AC probably had that same
not to
vibe.
The level
we should put them out because
I'm saying look at the team we have, as in we haven't got the players that of Arsenal. Oh, we haven't got the Sackers or the
sorry.
I'm saying
apologies.
Against us. No, it's not a problem against us. I feel right now we're suffering. I'm worried about West Ham tomorrow. So going up against, if it's Feyenoord or PSV, I'm still not confident if I'm being completely real at this stage. Obviously you can get the job done, but it's not an easy feat, no matter who we have right now. It's the
No.
Champions League. Champions League football's knockout stages. So, but Feyenoord out of the two, you'd probably you'd favour.
I would agree. I mean, I was watching PSV the other day. That guy Noah Lang, man,
Good player.
serious player.
Player that was linked with Arsenal many a time as well.
Was he? Bakayoko as well, who I was screaming for as well. The winner.
He came on late. Bakayoko. He didn't
He's on the
start
bench a lot of the time. Yeah, he's on the bench a lot of time. But he's
Just-
still lightning.
Just as they're starting to, show the host Pedro Pinto for the draw. We know these draws can take a little while, but this one should be a lot quicker because we already know who certain teams are going to get. They've got a potential of getting one of two teams. Once all the teams have been allocated their spots in the bracket, we'll be able to see which of the two teams we're going to encounter, as I've been saying, in the quarterfinals, as well as who else could be potential semi-final opponents, right? So once we know who we've got, we're going to be able to see our pathway kind of to the final.
Then we see the quarters, all the way through.
Quarterfinals and semi-finals, right? And what we do know heading into the draw is that we should get past either. If we get past either of our Dutch opponents, right, we could face, or we would face one of Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, or Bayer Leverkusen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, listen, that's the later stages now, man.
Yeah, what
the
did you
baby
expect?
thing's finished now.
So say that bit again.
So yeah, sorry.
Right, so if we get past, whoever
Feyenoord
we
or
face,
PSV,
Feyenoord or PSV, right, we'd face one of Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, or Bayer Leverkusen. It depends on how the draw is placed.
Okay.
So we know that's, but obviously we've got to get past one of those two first. A couple of super chats here. Clara Bitsy says, let's hope that, he's a big Chelsea fan, says, let's hope that Arsenal draw Madrid in the quarterfinals will be an opportunity for Saliba for a perfect audition. Yeah,
She's so cheeky, Clara.
John says, Arsenal have conceded 2 goals, 5.25 in the Prem, 2 with 10 men. We won't miss a striker as much as people think. We need Martinelli and Saka back for the last 9 games. Could, if we get past
Feyenoord
or PSV, could Saka be back in time then for those sort of latter games?
I've always looked at that
you risk him, though?
quarterfinal really as the game to
Is he
bring him
coming
back.
back,
If it's a
people?
quarterfinal Champions League, of course you risk. I mean, you take the risk.
Would you?
If it's a quarterfinal of the Champions League,
Yeah, I think so. If he's
When that
back,
looks-
if he's back, the talk is right. The talk is that
Is it
he
true?
could be back, but that injury when we had Dr. Andre on, he said 4 to 6 months. 4 to 6 months, then it's April, right? And the quarterfinals are in April.
Well, he wouldn't be fit though, would he?
Well, no, you'd be back in 4 to 6 months. So he'd be back in April. He could be. It depends. You
it
know what I
wouldn't
mean?
be his first
But
start.
4 to 6 months, and what they're saying is that he's running ahead of schedule. Is what they're saying. He could possibly be back. Maybe not from the start, like you're saying, Turkish, but he could figure.
When did it happen? December? Or did it happen?
Yeah, it happened at the end of December.
I just think
so
that with
January,
hamstrings,
February, March.
apparently it's a bad tear. You do need to be careful.
Well, no, he's had surgery on it, hasn't he? And that surgery, as I said, the doctor, not you, right, not me.
Right.
The doctor said 4 to 6 months
Could be 6
on an
months.
injury like that. Could be
6.
But what they're saying is that a lot of the rumours coming out of Arsenal, you don't know whether to believe or not. They're saying he's looking like he's ahead of schedule, so that would indicate more the 4 months bracket. So he could be. We don't know for sure, but he could be back if those. Say there's 2 sets of quarterfinals, the 8th and the 9th of April, and then there's a second set, 15th and the 16th.
Second.
Certainly, if, inshallah, we made the semi-finals, that's the 29, 30, or 6 or 7, 29 or 30th of April, or 6th or 7th of May.
Semi's a big
He
arse,
could be back for that.
Look at those teams.
Obviously, it's not for me to second guess the doctor's opinion, but from what I've read and what people have told me is that you do need to be very careful with those nature of injuries because you got to think long term, especially a guy like.
Yeah, so it depends. That's why they say 4 to 6 months. There'll be some people that their healing process and everything's gone ahead of schedule. They could be in the 4-month bracket. There could be others who, it's taking time. They fall more into the 6-month bracket. But But they're getting ready to do the draw here. And of course, we're going to be telling you who Arsenal have got. We'll tell you who Villa have got. Also, Man City, they're out, innit? Liverpool have got as well, right? Mr. Mai Tai says we shouldn't fear Madrid. We're the only English teams not to be beaten by them. I fear Madrid.
Do you see what
But listen, if you're going to win this
That's
tournament,
we haven't played them since
time.
05, 06.
Exactly. If you're going to win these tournaments, you're going to get teams like Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid. Your Barcelona.
Reeled off of
It's
teams.
crazy.
There's a lot of
It's
teams.
crazy.
Inter Milan, Bayer Leverkusen.
It's only Bayer Leverkusen that I feel
This is
a
the
little
big
bit comfortable with, but because obviously pre-season, but even still, they still got
once we,
unbelievable quality.
if we get past one of these two Dutch teams, it's serious. Then. Very, very serious. There's no more. I hope I get this. I hope I get that. They're all tough.
Bayern in the quarters last, or was it round of 16?
Round of
16.
Round of 16. We had Bayern.
We had Bayern. Okay, we're not
Dynamic says he wants the second leg at Emirates. That's already set, you know.
Yeah,
For this set of games, yes.
For this set of games, because we automatically
we won
qualified.
Zane says Arsenal's record against Madrid: one drawn, one lost, none. Light work, he says. Yeah, well, that's a light. Turkey said it's a very long time ago we played them.
conceded
Do
none.
you watch the Real Madrid games? Like, you see how they play? Like, everyone's just smiling. It seems like there's just no stress in that team. And it's like you see Mbappe taking everyone's just
When they're
playing
winning,
free
there's no
flowing.
stress.
They're
not winning, there's big stress.
But
They absolutely dismantle Man City. I mean, that was embarrassing.
Smiles, they're
6-3, and they took their foot off the gas right near the end of that game. You got Mbappe's absolutely flying. I mean, some good teams in this tournament. Barcelona are a very, very good side as well. You know, you got Atletico flying in their league. That's another very, very good team. Bayern, I don't know. I watched them against Celtic the other night, man. I thought they were very fortunate. It was the last minute, absolute last second goal that they got to get over the line. They didn't impress me over those two legs against Celtic. I thought Celtic were a little bit unlucky. So,
there was.
So
I think though with these teams, if you can go there with a good game plan and stick to it, I think at that level, you will see upsets.
Inter Milan's another team, good side. You know what I mean? There's some good teams left in this in this tournament. Liverpool, by the way, could get Paris Saint-Germain. Could be one of the two teams that they could draw out of the hat.
They're not the same.
No, a lot of people are saying they could be a dark horse team this year, PSG.
PSG have picked it up. You see, this is the thing, like everybody's going on about, the early stages and, we did well to get into that. And I think what this new format has shown is that you need to try and get into those 8 because otherwise you face... Look at some of the teams that have gone out. AC Milan have gone, Juventus have gone, Man City have gone. Those teams now are going to be really regretting that they didn't get into that top 8. And there was some of us that took that a little bit light.
So good format.
I'm pleased for that because that means that the format is working out the way it's supposed to work.
And all right, Robbie. So you get great format.
I'm still not convinced with it. I mean, we're playing games. We're playing knockout games in February and January, right? March, really, and you're seeing players dropping like flies. And to me, it's no coincidence. And I just think
you can't blame Champions League for all these players getting injured.
Well, the workload on a lot of players. You've had to play games in January, in February. They're having to. Liverpool the other night have had to play. That's because of Carabao.
Spurs are in the Champions League, and
Liverpool have had to move
injuries.
That game they played the other night. Liverpool, they had to play that then. Because they can't play it over the next 2 weeks, because the next couple of weeks, because there'll be Champions League games, and they have to play that before the Carabao Cup. You know what I mean? So
you can't blame the format though. Like I said, Bournemouth, they got mad injuries. They're not in the Champions League. They're not in any of the European competitions.
Yeah, but I'm talking about some of the big teams, right? Like your Arsenals, they've suffered a lot of injuries, a lot of workload on these players when you're having to play extra games in January. Because remember, the old format used to be done by December. Nathan, and then remember, you got all the FA Cup games and all that into there as well. Nathan says this is why Saka got injured. We put too much pressure on our players. We need to get a bigger squad. We definitely need a bigger squad for next season. Henry T.I. says, guys, if Saliba signs for Madrid for 150 million, we got to get Isak for 125 million, deal or no deal. Listen, Saliba wouldn't be as much as that if he did go. Grousey says Saliba will shut down Mbappe, Give us Madrid next round. Love from Australia. Okay.
What about Rodrigo, Vinicius, Arda, Diaz,
Yeah, there's all
Bellingham?
the others.
That's one player, Dad. What about the rest?
Yeah, Vinicius. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, Vinny.
they're stacked, man. They're absolutely stacked with players.
Can I jump in just quickly because production just sent obviously the Opta Anis of the prediction of who's going to get through, and we're second in it to win it. Liverpool are top to quarterfinals to go through 70%. Let's do the top two. Semi-finals 58%, 35.9% for the final Liverpool, and then the top was Liverpool again with 20.2% to win it. Arsenal are just underneath that. 16.8% to win the Champions League. They're second favourites. And to get, so that's interesting. It's Liverpool, Arsenal, and then Barcelona.
But what's that though? That's not bookies, is it?
It's the Opta prediction. Now I know it's going to pop up on the screen as well as we kind of go through it. But so they're saying favourites are Liverpool, Arsenal, and Barcelona. Real Madrid are sitting fifth for the. But what can you really?
They look watching them the other night. They look back to their best, man. They look dangerous. Lord with a thing with a super chat. He says we beat City 5-1 this season. Real Madrid 6-3 on aggregate. So, listen.
I love Arsenal fans put ourselves in that conversation.
It'll be. Listen, if you're going to win these tournaments, as I said, you got to get past these teams.
Yeah, I agree.
You gotta get past.
I'm not into all these. Let's hope we get this. Let's hope. Like Robbie said, if you're going to win a tournament, you're going to have to play good teams sooner or later. So it is what it is.
On the actual odds in terms of bookies, Real are favourites. Liverpool, Real favourites, Barca second. Real favourites, Liverpool second, Barca third, Arsenal fourth. That sounds a bit more but even Dennis.
Yeah, it's funny because after the round of everybody was just saying, "Oh, Liverpool."
Yeah,
but I always knew that. Listen, Real Madrid and teams like that, they haven't peaked yet. They do that every year. Real Madrid, they slow burn sometimes into this competition, but it's what you do at the end of it. It's not.
You're not wrong.
Finishing top of your group and stuff like that. It's what you do at the end. As we said, like just with this new format now, getting into that top 8, I think that's what it showed everybody this year. For next season, I think because teams like Man City.
Yeah, they're going to be
not getting into that top 8 and then drawing Real Madrid and not even making the round of 16 is a bit disastrous for a club like Man City. So
after the success they've had.
So the last 16 games, I think if they're the week of the 4th and 5th of March.
Right. So those next stages of games, going to be taking place 4th and 5th of March.
So they'll be sandwiched
and the 11th and 12th. So they're splitting it into
2 legs.
The week after,
So that first leg will be sandwiched in between the Forest and Man United games, won't they?
Yeah.
So.
And that's why, hence what I was saying, that's why Liverpool had to play that game this week, because over the next couple of weeks, you're going to then have, Champions League games coming into it.
Can I ask if
and of course, sorry to cut you there. Of course, the second leg is going to be played for Arsenal. Will be played at the Emirates, no matter who they draw. The second leg, as they're a higher seeded team than the teams that qualified, they get their second leg, which can be very important.
Can I ask the table quickly? Is PSV's front three better than ours? If I go through it, Perisic, I think it's Luke de Jong and Lang player, who's having actually a really good season. Would you say, I'm talking about Ethan, Sterling, Trossard?
Depends though if Martinelli's back for then.
No,
I mean, listen, Luke de Jong, he's getting on in years, right?
Perisic,
but he's a presence. Perisic's very old, you know what I mean?
Old,
but he can still put in a good cross, and that Noah Lang, like you said, Laurie, the other night he played really well.
Perisic scored a good goal in that game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's old. He's doing all right. All right. But that front three,
it's a decent front three.
Yeah.
I think you also have to take into account that, and I know those two teams are like second and fourth respectively, but I think it's fair to say,
right.
I'm not offending any Dutch people here.
Let's move that quick because we're getting into the draw now. Aston Villa have just been drawn out, so Aston Villa are going to find out which one of the two teams they're picked against they're going to face. It always makes me laugh here. The officials try to put this really. Club Brugge, Club Brugge. That's
interesting, because Bruges have been surprised.
They've done right towards the
and Bruges was already. They've already played Bruges, haven't they? They played Bruges in the.
They did,
and they lost. Didn't they lose to Bruges?
Yeah.
Let me check.
So Club Bruges.
Who's representing
That's
Arsenal?
Aston Villa. They'll be happy with that, though, I think.
I saw
Aston Villa.
Bruges the other day. The guy up front, is it Tybee? Tybee?
Yeah, something like that.
good player.
They'll be pleased with that Villa, though.
They
Club
beat
Bruges.
someone. Who was it? Who did
Right,
they
who's
knock
out next?
Lille.
Lille.
No.
So they're doing that's pot 7. So whoever finished 7th, 8th, that's that. The
Yeah.
next pot's gonna be 5, 6, and then
Yeah.
we're in the pot for 3, 4.
Lille are playing Dortmund. So Lille are playing Dortmund.
That's a good
Gods
sign.
Loves Arsenal said that's why you get players in January, Rob. Definitely.
Definitely.
We played Bayern in the quarters, Porto last 16,
quarters,
Robbie.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think Bruges.
so yeah, we played them in the quarters.
I don't
you're
think
right.
Bruges have played. They haven't played Aston Villa yet. I don't think. Looking through.
No,
there.
Bruges didn't they played Villa, didn't they? Already. But anyway, our Villa will be pleased with that.
Oh, they did. They lost 1-0.
Yeah.
Villa lost 1-0
Yeah, it was that penalty, a controversial penalty, if I remember
in
right.
November.
Atletico.
Right, Atletico Madrid have just been drawn out. Yeah, I look at these serious faces. Look at them. They
Is
don't
Martin
want to.
Keown the Arsenal representative?
Was he there?
There's
He's
Martin
there.
Keown there
That's what
behind
I
him,
just
yeah.
said. Yeah, it's him. He's the Arsenal representative. That's weird.
Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. So one big dog is going to go out.
That's a good game.
That's one of the
They're-
ties
look
of the round.
at
there.
the title
Simeone.
race as well. Atletico are 1 point behind Barca
Yeah.
and Real. It's tight.
That's
Plus it's
a
a
big game.
derby
It's
game.
tight.
Yeah. The Madrid.
Madrid derby.
Yeah.
Bayer
It's good.
Leverkusen.
Oh,
So this affects us, innit?
Yeah.
When we
Yeah.
find out ours.
so this should be who's the other? Yeah, Bayern. Yeah.
Oh,
Bayern Munich.
obviously it's
Again, two teams, 1 and 2 in their division. Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen. So some big teams could go out in that. That's a hard side of the draw, isn't it?
That's good.
Didn't they just played last week, didn't they? Bayern
Yeah,
Munich
0-0.
and Leverkusen, Yeah.
Yeah, 0-0 draw.
this is our pot now. So it's
Right,
Inter or Arsenal being drawn. So
Yeah.
Come on.
So here we go. We're going to
Feyenoord,
find out
come
now.
on. Please.
Right, we've got
It's gonna be Arsenal first.
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Yeah, we start.
Arsenal out in the hat first. Who have we got? Is it PSV or is it Feyenoord?
Be Feyenoord.
We play PSV. Arsenal versus PSV. That means that Feyenoord are going to play Inter.
Yeah.
So Arsenal versus PSV. That means Feyenoord versus Inter.
Dead.
And meet again.
I'm getting messages.
We meet
straight away.
again.
From what? Europa League a couple of years ago,
Right.
Champions League
Yeah.
last year, now again Champions League.
Bro, we
right?
played
Yeah.
them. We played them like every season.
Listen, we've got a good record against them.
I mean, it's not one we should.
Yeah.
But they are stronger than PSV.
Yeah, we would all have
100%.
rathered Feyenoord.
100%.
But listen, it's Inter, it is.
Is that PS?
Sorry, it is PSV, it is Inter. We'll play Feyenoord, of course.
Let's see what
So
we
we
get.
know
Let's see
now what we
get.
got. PSV.
That's freaking
Right.
Philips Stadion. I've been there so much. All right.
I
We
might
go
have to-
again.
I might have to roll for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Liverpool. Liverpool could get PSG, innit?
Is it PSG?
Yeah.
Who? I
They
bet
could.
you-
One of the teams they could get is
I
PSG, I
haven't
think.
focused on anyone else, Let me see. They got PSG.
They've got PSG. Liverpool versus PSG.
Hey.
They won't be happy with that. But not bad for us in
course it's
potential title
It's not
races.
bad
Of them
for
having a
us.
really tough. Listen, we'll have a really tough game as well. But that's PSV have really hit form. PSG, they've hit form recently, haven't they?
Oh, so wait, the chat are saying because it's PSV, that means we're playing Real at Atletico next round.
Yeah. Barcelona have just been drawn out.
Oh.
All right.
Sugar.
All right.
Sugar the Timbers.
Big up to Lewis for the super chat. Benfica versus Barcelona, which they didn't they play already? That was the controversial game where.
Oh yeah.
When Benfica got robbed, they should have got
last
that
minute goal. Last
yeah.
minute from one end to the other.
Yeah.
That
So
guy
Benfica
doing
will
the
be
draw, he
looking for
looks
bit
a
of
lot
revenge.
like Claudio Ranieri, doesn't he? The guy with
Yeah,
the
he
glasses.
does. They'll be looking for a bit of revenge.
So it's Holland then Madrid if we pass through.
So we haven't beaten PSV away since I've seen the last 4 times we played it there.
But the second draw is at the Emirates, and I think that is very significant for
That's
us.
if we got players back.
Listen, I'm comfortable with that draw. I watched PSV the other night. They're decent, but definitely a winnable.
It's a winnable.
Yeah, 100%.
We're crying over
But
PSV.
Real Atletico.
Yeah, in the next round after that. Yeah.
You need everyone.
We
You need
ain't
everyone.
got long sleeve Henri with gloves, mate. We ain't got that version of Henri right now.
everyone. We ain't got
Right
that
now.
version of
We ain't got
anyone.
that version of nobody.
Right, so they're showing now.
The win. Wait, so is this?
Who's this? El Bear. He used to play for Bayern, innit?
I think that's.
Remember
Yeah,
Giovanni
yeah,
El
yeah,
Bear?
El
That's
Bear.
him, innit?
He's a good player. He is.
He was. He's banged goals for them. Won Champions League, I think. Wait, yeah, must have. He was presenting this.
So yeah, they popped him up before. So what's this? Okay, so this is
So potentially,
Paris Saint-Germain.
Oh, so Liverpool could play Villa in the next round.
yeah.
Well, they might get through, to be fair, yeah. Or PSG and Villa, if Villa win.
Right, they're just going through it. Yep.
So imagine that Liverpool finish top and we get PSV and they get PSG. The format is interesting, but it's not like, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect science, but we have seen evidence whereby if you do finish in that top 8, then
Get a bit more of a
you
respite,
do,
but
yeah.
Well, I guess their next round
get-
is lighter, Aston Villa rather than Real Madrid, Atletico.
That's true.
So.
Or Club Bruges.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And nobody expected it.
Jeez,
so
we need to get to Madrid somehow.
I need to
Whoever
see
it
that
is,
new state.
yeah.
I need to go to that new
so
Bernabeu.
it's Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid if we beat PSV.
Yeah,
One of those
let's
two.
focus on that
if
right
we beat,
now.
If we beat, if we beat them, it's Real Madrid or Atletico. Equally difficult for me, both of those games because
Equally, you think so?
I think Atletico Madrid are a
Yeah,
really
in a
tough
very
team.
different
on
way,
two
right?
legs.
Look,
Yeah.
conceded
Really-
16 goals in the league this
Yeah.
season.
No, but
Really-
Real, though, I mean, their history
Yeah,
in the
yeah, different
competition.
way,
is-
different
Yeah, that's true. But Atletico, which we've been beaten by them before in this tournament, I remember going to their ground.
And Europa.
It's a tough. That's a tough. That, number one, is a hostile stadium
Yep.
when you go there. Very loud, very difficult,
Defensively
and
as
they're
well.
a very good side. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We're going to have to be. You're going to have to
Oh,
be
yeah.
on your
And with
A
our
game.
attacking options, listen, and Atletico Madrid and the way they defend, way.
Then you see, you start to look on it again and say, these owners, man, how could you now
I know,
leave
leave
it
us-
short and you're
leave
going
us
into
short.
these games? Real, I mean, this is what I was talking about, man.
Miguel Moreno up front
crazy.
against Edmund. Well, Edmund sounds injured, but they're said about Rudiger. And them,
But this is what we spoke about several times about the lack of ambition showed by the board, because this is what we're talking about now, isn't it?
Yeah. Because you got to take into account there was always a possibility of these type
Could
of
have had
games.
Ollie Watkins.
You could even have predicted that it could be these are possible permutations.
Yeah.
Big up to Collade, he said we played. Yeah, sorry, I did that one already. But big up to Collade with the super chat.
Rudiger and Havertz, mate. That
But
would
anyway,
be-
listen. Before we start even talking about those things, right? Remember, it's PSV in the
yeah,
next
sorry,
round.
yeah, get carried away.
And that's going to be tough.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough, especially with our situation. If we had our full team, even without the January, I think we'd get through comfortably.
Yeah.
But the situation we're in, PSV are flying high at the moment as well. They've just knocked out Juventus. They've got threats. Cecil asked earlier who's got the better attack. I wouldn't say they've got the better attack even now, because I rate Ranieri highly, and to be honest, I rate Trossard. Trossard's a very good player. It's just he hasn't really found his rhythm. But even though he's been good for the last maybe 6 weeks. So we should have enough for PSV, but listen, the first game's away from home. Let's not fuck about.
Yeah,
I'm
big
worried.
Take it to the
Big
Emirates with a game with a tie to win, and from there we should be all right.
Who scored
I
the-
think if you spoke to most fans, and they would take either PSV or Feyenoord over a lot of the other teams.
yeah, of course.
Because,
Of
like
course.
you said, I think we would be expected to beat them. That's not to say that we're gonna, but I think we can be fairly happy with that draw.
Laurie, Turkish, who scored the goal in the 1-1 draw against PSV? We played them at their place. Who scored the? Oh,
Well, last season,
yeah,
1-1 draw.
yeah. Who scored our goal? I've asked Turkish and Laurie. Have a think if I've asked you two.
Eddie.
Salib. Was it Eddie?
Eddie.
Yeah, there you go.
Clara Bitsy says, second leg away in
through.
Madrid, thank you God. Well, at least that means you're giving us a win against PSV. Chelsea hater.
I'm worried. I'm worried.
Are you in it? No.
I'm worried.
But that's for me the
This is what it's all about. It's
how
what you want to
some
be in
people
it.
like the whole easier route. I get that as well, because I said Feyenoord over PSV. But I always look at Real, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain.
Sorry to just jump in there, right? Because just as it's coming up on the screen, so potential teams that Arsenal could get in the semi-final are Liverpool, Bruges, it just
Aston
disappeared on me.
Villa.
Aston Villa,
Or who's Liverpool playing? PSG.
yeah.
Yeah. Been the
So
other side.
semi-final it could get a
So
Liverpool.
to be honest,
You get past.
the other side looks like it's going to be Barcelona's.
So there's no easy route.
Arsenal, Barca.
But that's that. In these
Yeah, so
couple-
semi-final one would see the winners of PSV, Arsenal versus Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, facing either the winners of Paris Saint-Germain, Liverpool, or Club Bruges, Aston Villa. So you've got a potential here of, let's just say it all went to what the bookies would say, yeah? That means that Arsenal would face potentially in a semi-final, Liverpool or PSG.
You'd have to say one of them.
Yeah, that's a potential semi-final.
Should be.
So, and then in the quarterfinals, Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid. So it's going to be a hard route. It's going to be a hard route.
Most cup competitions, if you're going to win it, same when we had the FA Cup and all the. And this, I know that's different to Champions League, but it's never going to be an easy route to the final. I don't really think it's rare that you ever see that, especially in the Champions League with such good teams in it. We're going to have to play some difficult teams.
Is that the route?
It's been very rare to think that we'll get a clear route of just playing easy teams throughout.
Yeah, sometimes it can work in your favour. Sometimes it can. Remember when Tottenham got to the final, they had Ajax in the semis.
The Champions,
things like you can. Even when we got to the final, we had Villarreal.
Yeah,
true.
In the semi-final, you know,
Yeah,
we'd had some harder games leading up to that, and then we got Villarreal, and even then we just about scraped that. You know what I mean? So, Ricky Proctor says, imagine what beating PSV and then possibly Real Madrid and Atletico can do to the confidence of Arsenal. Beating WC teams is part of becoming a WC. For Saliba and Saka, definitely. Saka will be really chomping at the bit to try and get back for these games. And PSV won't have Pepe, who has been their best player. So he's not going to be available in that game. It's PSV, guys. Let's just deal with what's in front of us first of all. Cecil, you've been, of course, to the stadium.
Yeah, I'm worried.
You're worried?
Yeah, I think people always say, "Oh, Cecil, you worry so much," but I don't love that draw. I would prefer, obviously, we all said we prefer final, but it is what it is. I just feel like PSV, I think their atmosphere can be quite good as well. I think the team, like I said, at their place, there is two legs. I have to keep reminding myself that. But the place I'm sat right now, with the injuries you have and whatnot, hopefully players will be back. I just don't feel like, ambitious that Arsenal are going to go on and get through, because I'm worried about the injuries in the team we're at right now. Hopefully that changes over.
We haven't lost a game in the Premier League in 15 games. There's somebody, I think I was doing something with Mark Goldbridge this morning. Yeah. And he was saying to me, "What's wrong with your fans?" He goes, "Oh, right, I get it, the transfer window and stuff like that." But he goes, "The way some of your fans talk," he goes, "you'd have think he's got the same record as Man United." And it is true. We've got to remind ourselves. We're unbeaten in 15 games in the Premier League. We finished third in the Champions League group. What's with all the fear?
I argue this at times when I speak to fans, but I'm also set. But we watch the games week in, week out. That game against Leicester, which is the most recent one I can go to, 80 minutes we were poor, and I just think going forward.
But that happens, doesn't it, with every team?
It's Leicester City, and we struggled for majority of the game. Granted, we got it over the line.
Well, then Wolves versus Liverpool the very next day.
Wolves and Liverpool?
It's the same sort of thing, isn't it? They struggled to go over the line in that. It's 2-1, and could have thrown it away near the end.
They also have. But
do we go a bit over the top sometimes?
I don't think I'm going over the top. This is how I feel right now as a fan. I'm not saying. I just think I'm worried what I see for what I'm foreseeing for Arsenal.
So there was that game you focused on. What about the game before that in the Premier League?
Yeah, it was a
remember
game.
that? What was that game? You remember that game?
Remind me of the game.
So Wolves away.
I was there.
Right.
10 men.
Down to 10 men, won that. Do you remember the game before that?
Yeah, we slapped City.
Man City 5-1. So why are you scared of PSV? I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
No, I hear what you're saying. City, that's fine. That's all. But this is all well and good. This is before, like, the players that we have out now, in full context. We haven't got a front line, Rob. Like, and going forward. Even coming out to that game, I don't expect Saka won't be back, Martinelli won't be back. We'll still be trying to figure out what is the best solution. Granted, we're relying on a 17-year-old. This is a worry for me. Liverpool, you gave an example of, cool, but they have depth. They can mix between players. Right now where I'm sat, I don't think we have that quality to really push for. We might scrape through PSV at home. Cool. Going away, it could be a close encounter. Just remember this. I am worried about PSV. Okay. That's fine.
You worried about that game?
Yeah.
As worried as he sounds, like he sounds desperately worried, like that's what we're playing Real Madrid.
No,
I mean, listen. Of course, you've got to have absolute respect for teams like PSV. But come on, Arsenal should be beating PSV.
We should be,
even with the injuries.
No, we should be. But listen, PSV are they're not a joke team.
No, 100% not a joke team.
And even this season, the Champions League, I swear they've knocked out Juventus. They got a result against PSG away from home. They beat Liverpool. I know that was a much changed Liverpool side. They drew to Sporting. a side we know all about. So they've picked up results this season that I can think off the top of my head. Did they beat PSG away from home or draw? I can't remember. Either or, they didn't lose anyway. No, they didn't lose. I remember them picking. So they've got something there, and then we know that we lacked an attack before 21st of December when Saka got injured. So there are concerns there for sure. Am I confident about it? Semi-confident that we should get the job done. But listen, the first leg away from home,
That's the key, innit?
they're gonna have the, you know, the crowd behind
We've
them,
got to stay
the
in it.
energy behind
that
them.
away
We're
game,
not
we
gonna
have to stay in it.
you know, our favoured attack. They're gonna know that, and they're gonna take the game to us. Ethan's the shining light right now that we kind of need to step up, and Trossard needs to be that big moment player that we've seen who scores the goals.
Stay in it. When we go away, stay in it.
I think what I would say is respect is the word I would use. I've heard fear, I've heard worry. To be honest, no, that's not for me. I think we respect them. They're second in their league, we're second in ours. But let's be honest, man. I think if you went to the bookies or most neutral observers, Pete would be predicting Arsenal to win that game. And also, if we're not going to beat the likes of PSV, then we can't really claim to have any real serious Champions League ambition. So listen, I embrace it, man. I think it'll be a good tie. I'm looking forward to it.
I think, like Turkish said, if we had our full,
Yeah.
you know, complement of players,
100%.
I wouldn't really have much fear of this game.
That's what I said. But look at the situation we're in right now.
But I still think I'm not scared of this game. I think I respect them. But one of the things at Arsenal, we've got a very, very good defence. No team's really come this year or this season, should I say, and put loads of goals past us. You know what I mean? And I think I think in these sort of knockout competitions that your defence sets you in good stead. I think watching PSV the other night, they're very good in that second leg, but the second leg was at their place. The key is going to be that first game. Just go and stay in the game.
Stay in the game. That's it.
Go and stay in the game. And then the second game at the Emirates that's going to be a brilliant game. So this is definitely a winnable game for Arsenal. This is what they've earned by finishing.
I think we've got to try and win there.
You can't
try and win there.
No,
people say like 1-0 or anything to PSV. You can't do. You have to
win
draw
there.
or win. Yeah. If we win, I'll be my whole mood will change if we end up winning that first tie. But I'm telling you.
No, listen. As long as you don't lose.
What do you mean? Yeah.
If you go there and draw, then
Draw's always a good result away.
I think draw's a good result.
Yeah, so I said just draw or don't.
No, you just say that we need to go and win. We don't have to win.
Turkey said we have to go there and win. I said
Go for
a
the
draw.
win,
Yeah,
Go for the
draw
win.
or you go up. But if you go down, if it's 1-0 to them. And people might, because a lot of back in the day, if you go 1-0 down, you say it's still second leg. We can get back into
remember,
this.
you used to have the dreaded away goals.
Jeez.
That's knocked us out many a time. Guna Girl 13 with a super chat says, "Who did Chelsea get?" Asking for a friend. Clara. Hashtag Clara. 0W80WW7 says, Real Barca final inject it into the veins. Right, so he thinks that's going to be the final. Listen, there could be twists and turns.
Who did he say for the final?
Real Barca. That's a possibility. It could work that way.
Crazy.
Isn't the
Lost
final
Boy,
in Bayern this year? At their ground.
I don't know, Allianz, maybe.
Lost Boy 911 says, "Yes, Cecil, talk some sense into Robbie." I'm not going with. I'm scared of PSV.
I didn't say scared. Worried.
I mean,
but
know.
just worried with the ties.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think respect is.
I'm not confident.
I respect PSV, but if we are worried about PSV, then we got serious problems.
Yeah, I'm
to
with you
me,
on that.
we should respect PSV as a good side. We should respect it's going to be a difficult game. But if those players are going there fearful of PSV,
But we have
then I'll
talked
be
about
very worried.
in pretty
Europe.
much every knockout game we've had in Europe.
Facts.
We've played them a lot as well.
Facts.
Yeah, but I mean, we fuck about sometimes. Porto last year, we were gassed about the draw because we thought, all right, it could be worse.
Yeah.
And then the first leg we lose 1-0. The second leg is 0-0, 1-1.
Yeah,
1-0, and it's penalties, and
yeah.
we make harder
We
work.
made hard
than
work
we
of it.
thought,
We've
so-
seen it. Yeah.
We've got to learn from that. Even that defeat against Bayern, we shouldn't have lost. We shouldn't have went out to Bayern. Again, that first leg, if we took our chances.
Ben White could have made
Yeah.
it
We
2-0,
drew at home
10
and,
minutes.
then we lost 1-0 at their
Yeah.
place. Like,
Bert Yes says 1-1 at the Park. PSV will be tough. Will be tough, definitely. Bert Yes says why shouldn't we, Arsenal, go for Weston McKennie in the summer? No thanks.
I've worked with him as well.
He didn't look great the other night against PSV.
I've worked with him as well.
London Nomad says, why do we always get the harder side of the draw? So it goes, man. John says, I can't believe we're a Liverpool draw away from City and having the title in our hands. I will meave. I think he meant to say I will never forgive this board for January. And Krishna says Arsenal versus Real Madrid in the quarterfinals is actually a benchmark for Arsenal on their growth under Arteta. Beat them and Arsenal just rise one level. If it is indeed Real Madrid, because it could also be Atletico. I mean, what a game that's going to be, isn't it? Atletico versus Real Madrid. Yeah. Kevin Kelly says we could play Liverpool 3 times in 1 week.
Oh, sugar, yeah. Because if we both get through.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. And 3 mega games, wouldn't it?
No, it'd be... What games they get? Is it in 8? It's in May?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And that would be 3 mega games. Again, these are the things that when those guys are deciding not to sign someone in January, they're not taking these things obviously into account. That you're going to have these potentials, you know? But let's hope possibly that Saka could be back for then. Martinelli could be back for then. That would ease a bit the sort of forward crisis if those two are back.
For when? That's after. That's if we get past PSV.
Yeah, if we got past PSV. PSV, that could ease it a lot, couldn't it? If that was the case. Just as we're all here tomorrow, of course, West Ham. Massive game, innit? I was actually looking at it this morning. If Arsenal beat West Ham, they're then within 5 points of Liverpool. I'm just giving you a scenario here. If Liverpool lost to City, Arsenal then would be 5 points with a game in hand. What would be the significance of that? Let's see if any of you realise this.
It's in our hands.
It'd be in our hands.
I don't think Liverpool are beating City.
The league title, if Arsenal beat West Ham tomorrow and Liverpool lose to City, I know they're all ifs. It's in Arsenal's hands to win the title.
Because we've got to play Liverpool.
Because we've got to go to Liverpool.
Yeah, correct.
Because we've got to go to Liverpool.
And play them, yeah.
So if you went to Liverpool, beat Liverpool.
But it's also in their hands in that case.
And it's also but it's been in their hands all along.
And they're home, so
it's more in their hands.
But then,
good reversal.
What I'm saying, it's been in their hands for months now. You know what I mean? But all of a sudden.
No, you're right.
It's interesting, though, isn't it?
It all goes back to
it's a nuanced point, but he's right.
We had a striker now.
It's a nuanced point, but you are right. The dynamic changes is what you're saying, really.
Yeah.
The dynamic changes.
I don't know
if the results go to plan.
Do you think City could get something from Liverpool?
I don't think Liverpool are going to win that game, if I'm honest.
Yeah, Turk's been saying this all day.
And I predicted Villa to draw 2-2. I actually said 2-2. My thing is not Liverpool will go the rest of the season immaculate. I said they'll drop points. I just think we haven't left ourselves in a position to. Yeah. We got gassed off of Wednesday. That's not us playing. Let's not forget for 70 minutes against Leicester, we was struggling, and we've got harder games to come. So it's the way the club's been left.
I try to say.
It's frustrating because there's lights here in the 2 majors, right? Premier League and even Champions League. Listen, Real would be a tough task, even with any signings in January. But if we had someone there. And Saka coming back to play with that someone, it's like, imagine when Saka comes back to join up with who that person is up front. Then it give us a bit more of a life towards the end of the season. Right now, it just feels quite, reality check coming soon.
Yeah.
It's pending.
Ed says, shall we play Marino up front against PSV? Well, listen what he gets on tomorrow. I want to see him from the start tomorrow. I effing love the Champions League, says Nelly. Philip says Turkish. Who is the biggest pussyo in the squad? That's what he's asking.
Why did he ask me that?
I don't know. He's asking you that.
Let me think about
it. Prem Red says Robbie, the new format has been good so far. Gives a fair chance to all teams to get to the next stages. Usual big teams are exposed. I'm still not mad with this format.
I prefer this format.
I prefer this format.
You know what it is, right?
The last one was getting.
I'm not saying this. The old format needed changing, but the first part, because it's all getting exciting now. The first part of the format I don't like. Where you're just playing. It's almost just like random teams. You play Club Brugge, then you go and play.
That's good.
Why? Then you don't play
Because
them
you get
again.
that-
To me, I think what they should have done is they should have just had 2 big leagues in 2 halves. You play teams home and away in that side, and then the top 4 teams of each side go through or something like that. I think they should have done it like that.
I must say, right,
It's very random. The first part
No,
of it's
but
too
I
random.
quite like
for me.
that random nature of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I had to
right.
see more of it again.
with you.
It's still fresh. So
What do you
I
like about
even-
that
I even
random
enjoyed
part? of it?
the-
Like, just
Because
I even enjoyed
because
the
it's
knockout.
random. I quite
I even
like
enjoyed
that.
the qualifier teams, the Man City Real Madrid. I actually enjoyed the Real Madrid Man City playing and then seeing
Yeah.
them. Like, I enjoyed all
no, that part.
that
But you
jeopardy
could,
point.
you'd still get that
I like
part
that.
if you had 2 sides. So if you had 2 sides, you could still have a playoff element to it, like what they've done here. But it's what I don't like on the first part of it. It's just the random nature.
But don't you have
of
the
teams you get.
random nature with your two leagues? It's still
No,
random.
because you know you're
Very
gonna,
random.
no, because you're playing teams home and away.
Oh, so you just want the.
So I think
home thing.
I think the fairer way to do it in the first part of it is that you play a team home and away.
It's not just
that you-
2 group stages. Is that instead of having 4, you have it's 2.
Yeah,
oh, that's
2
just
big group stages. I think that's how they should have done it. And then you have the top 2 of the go, or top 4, whatever, go 3, 4, whatever, go through, and then the other 2 below that playoff. I think that would have been fair. So you got it's this sort of random nature of.
No, I quite like that.
I find it a bit
random
weird.
nature. I mean, let's be honest, right? This whole format was all predicated on financial. No, but you have to
Yeah,
put the
yeah.
work in
But
because you don't
their-
finish.
that's their
No,
fault.
but
That's
no,
that-
you're
that's
wrong
their-
about that.
yeah,
You're
no-
wrong about that
nothing is
because
right, but
no,
that's-
hang on. Let me make this point. You're wrong about that because those teams that didn't put the work in and thought they could coast,
Yeah,
a lot of them
that's-
went out.
Same
but
point, same point.
your argument just now was dead rubbers at the end of group game. But then I could say no. But then there was teams that had to win their last group games to get through. My thing here is that no one really cared about the table for the first 4 or 5
Yeah, they
games
sh-
of the Champions.
they should have.
That there was still important
Respectfully, I
games.
disagree. I think that those teams
You
that
wasn't looking at
adopted
the
that.
table
you wasn't
game week
looking at
4
the
of
table.
Champions
Game
League.
week-
Yeah, I was.
Well, when
Of course I
Aston
was.
Villa were top, no one really.
No, what I'm
cared,
saying
like.
is you had to put those wins in the bank because if you don't
No,
get in
you've
that
got to
top
win.
8,
But the same in group stages, you've got to get the wins in the bank.
But I think that's
That
because it's
doesn't
new. People weren't really understanding how the jeopardy of not getting in that top
Listen,
8.
For me,
Now-
it's just
now
the
it
random
changed.
nature of it. That, like, you know, you got Sporting this week, then next week you go and play Shakhtar.
I
Then
quite
after that,
like
you go
that.
and play-
What do you
and
think?
you
I'm
just
with you,
one-off
I'm
game. You
with you.
play
Yeah, me
Inter
and
in a
Sessa-
one-off game,
I know.
and then
Hey, listen.
I don't know that first
over here.
that first part of it to me is just a bit strange. Like it's just random. Whereas if you're going to play the team home and away, then you know.
No, but that's more like the old style.
Yeah.
That's what they were trying to move
Get
away
away
from.
from.
That kind of same
You don't
old
like change, just say it,
4
man.
teams.
No, I don't. Listen, I don't
2
mind.
strong teams. They
I
finished
think,
top.
I think it needed changing, and I think 2 big group stages. And the thing I like about this one the most is that teams can no longer drop down into the Europa League.
Yeah, that
I
as
used to think
well.
that was
That as
absolutely
well, yeah.
ridiculous.
The only
You'd have
problem
a-
with that, though, now is that now teams like Tottenham have got a real chance of winning that.
That's true, but it should be that
But-
way.
but
Then,
yeah, I mean,
that should
yeah.
be the second. I mean, you used to have teams now. You'd had a load of these big, strong teams dropping into the Europa League.
Yeah, that
So
was
it makes
nonsense.
makes
Yeah,
the Europa League really unfair.
A lot of people in the comments are saying, Robbie, like, if you had 2 leagues play home and away, that'll be even more games. That'll be a load of games. Unless you're playing 2
No, but,
teams.
no,
like
but
2
then when you
teams.
get through to, but then when you get through to the next stage now, there'd be lesser games, wouldn't it? Because you'd have lesser playoffs. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. I just
know how
find
that
it.
works. Well-
I just find it too
Interesting.
random.
The other thing I'd say very quickly as well, with that with that random nature of it, it gives it that feel of that it's radically overhauled, and I think that's what I quite liked about it. Is it looks way different to the normal staid 4 teams, 2 strong teams in each group. They go through, and then towards the end of the
Yeah, it's
group,
super, it's
all
super league-ish.
dead. Yeah, it's
And I
all
wasn't
dead
really-
food.
I wasn't really
This-
against
this
the
is,
Super League too much, just the
I found
non-relegation
this-
stuff.
Well,
is in there.
listen. This whole
There's a
new
Super
thing
League
has been put in place to appease the Super League.
Yeah.
Right? We know that.
I didn't
because-
mind that. It was just the non-relegation stuff that was annoying me with the Super League. And obviously, yeah, clubs been able to
All right.
control it. But yeah,
Some super chats here. Complex 69 says Liverpool will slap up City. No Haaland either. Lewis Bronson says no chance of additions in the free market to help.
Is Haaland definitely out?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if he's out.
Wasn't he ill?
Yeah,
I thought he was just ill. Then somebody said yesterday he jarred his knee. I don't know.
I thought it was ill.
John says, Cecil, if you're worried about PSV, you're not cut out for these knockout stages.
It's a situation we're in. Let me just
Bring
be
on
honest.
the big boys.
I want to
Come
play
on,
the
you
big
Gunners.
boys, but look at the situation we're in. That's why I have this worry. It's not about
You're a
the
natural
team.
pessimist, aren't you?
Most of the
I
time.
think you're a pessimist.
Quite,
by
well,
nature.
actually, no, I can be optimistic at times as well, but it's the situation we're in.
Yeah.
Prem Ready says, Robbie, the 2 big tables would still require playoffs for the round of 16. It is still random teams we would be playing. Bert Yes says, in all seriousness, who is Arsenal's number 9 for the 25-26 season. I think Sesko, in all honesty, probably.
Me too.
40 side says, if we end up playing Madrid, do you think Saliba and Gabriel will cope with the Madrid front three? City could not live with Mbappe. Well, that will be the test. Ed says, which Turkish player would you have at Arsenal?
Güler.
Oh, the Güler, yeah.
Güler.
Okay. And
But actually, you know what? Let me change that because Saka and Ranieri are essentially left-footed. But Arda Güler is different. But yeah, it'd have to be Arda Güler. Yeah, let me just stick with him. Don't worry.
How's Kokcu?
It has to be.
Oh, Kokcu. Is that how you say it? Kokcu.
Kokcu, yeah.
How old is he? Sorry.
He's probably like 25, 26.
He's alright, don't know.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Okay.
They're doing well at Benfica.
Yeah, no, I saw
a couple Turkish guys. There's a Greek guy, Pavlidis up top. They're
Greek
working well
guys.
together. Yeah,
Banging in goals,
all
isn't
three, Turkola, they're all banging goals with Benfica. Like, they're doing well over there.
Yeah, because he caught my eye.
Kenan obviously Yildiz.
He's old, no?
No, he's young. He's like 20, 19, 20 years old.
Okay.
Left winger. But sorry, I'm going off on one.
So yeah, apologies.
well, listen, the draw's been made. The question needs to be asked. Can Arsenal win the Champions League?
This guy.
What? Is this how you want to end the show?
Ask them and just end it.
Yeah. You have to ask the question. What's the point in being in it if you're not trying to win it?
Ask the
we
board,
all want to win it.
Ask
Right.
the board, they're
I'm
not
asking-
trying to win it.
How far can we get in this?
Next round,
Yeah, beat PSV and then after that,
then it's really
boy.
it gets long.
We got to see where we're at, but yeah, I think we get through round of 16. Can we win it? I think it's a big ask. It's really it's frustrating to say, like, because of obviously last year round of 16, you want to go and say as an Arsenal fan we can go and win this Champions League title, but if you look at it, you look at the path, situation we're in, no signs in January, injuries, whatnot. It feels like a big ask, and like you mentioned earlier, you did the whole calculation for the Premier League. If things start to be in our hands, then players and the club might focus towards the Premier League more so than the Champions League. That may happen. And we obviously want to try and go for both, but
we ain't got a squad to focus on anything.
That's
Just got to go for everything.
We
Last man standing in any game. That's all.
you know, Marino playing goalkeeper, striker, midfield, and defender.
Rush goalie.
Yeah, same
How far
question.
can we go then?
I'm saying just past round of 16 quarterfinals.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say so. I think around the season, I think we'll get through PSV. Obviously, Madrid teams away. You would have to make them favourites. But what I would say is this, and I've been saying it for a few weeks now. I think Arsenal's style of football, that possession, control, build-up stuff, that actually suits European football. So I think on their day, I think Arsenal can give anybody a game. It's just if we can get the 2 legs, get it done over 2 legs.
You know who suits European football? Real Madrid. Quarterfinals.
Yeah, obviously.
Heritage.
Where we're at quarterfinals. If we face Real, I just can't
What
see
if it's
us.
Atletico?
Even that's a tough game. Even that's a tough game. Tough manager. Both look, Ancelotti and Simeone would have more chance against Atletico, but they could just,
Then if you get past that, it's
stifle you
potentially like maybe a Liverpool
in a semi-final, and then
Yeah, I mean, then you're a bit more hopeful, I think, against the Liverpool or PSG. But Real's the one where we've just looked at them, whether we're in the Europa League or even last year, looked at them from afar in awe at times. When you think they're down and out, nope, they're back up again. Even this season, first 8 games, Mbappe, it's not going well. They're 6 points behind Barca. Now they're neck and neck.
Yeah.
Just beat City, smoked them in the Champions League, and Mbappe is just coming off a hat trick. It's
Yeah, to me, it's got to be. I think we'll get through the next round. Oh, boy, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and the Real Madrid I saw the other night, they were brilliant. There's so much threats up front, and if it's a case that second leg, that would all depend on it as well. If you got a second leg in the Bernabeu, you're in trouble.
Apparently they said that's what it is.
Yeah, so then you're in
But I
trouble.
don't get that.
yeah, how would that work?
Apparently that's what it is. Second legs in Bernabeu.
The fan base are funny. Someone's obviously tweeting about. They said about May the 7th/8th will be if we get to the semi-final, Liverpool versus Arsenal.
Oh,
Right?
they're doing
They're
too
going
much.
way too far.
How
And
can
then
you
there's-
do that
I
with
know.
Real Madrid
It's
and
all the people.
Atletico
This
in
what
front?
the fan base. They're tweeting all this fun. They said then 2 days later or 3 days later it'll be Liverpool versus Arsenal at Anfield for the Premier League title. I'm like, people, slow down. But
No, but
that-
you say that, Cecil, but you know what? That is why when all those years when we weren't in the Champions League, all these things were missing. So I think people are excited to be in that top
I'm
table
excited.
of Europe.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited. On the one hand, I'm excited, and then the other hand, it just raises my anger at the inactivity in January, because you just look at it and say, these are not something that. Obviously, they wouldn't have known what the draw was going to be, but you knew the possibilities. You could still look at the draw and the side of the draw and say to yourself, there's a possibility that we could get, because you see that side. There's a possibility we could be in that side and have Real Madrid, blah, blah, blah. There's a possibility we could be on that other side. We end up getting Bayern and things like that. So you know you're coming up against some of those, as well as the running, right? So whoever there is decided and thinking, I think we could ride it out till the end of the season with what we've got. Either it's one of two things. They've either said to themselves, right, flip of a coin, gamble, let's try our thing, and if it don't work out, we keep our money till the summer. Or they just gave up on the whole thing.
Again,
right? Because honestly, you know, that's why they call it the business end of the season. You know that you're not winning the Champions League if you don't come up against some of these. But I remember, right, it could have been even worse. When you think about it, on paper, it could have been like, what would it have worked out to have been? It would have been Juventus next. If they're at PSV, so it would have been Juventus, then Real Madrid or Atletico. So these are all powerhouses, and you already knew. So I just don't understand that decision. It's crazy.
That is mad.
But it is what it is now. It's still exciting to look ahead to these potential games, and this is why we want to be in the Champions League. These are the games. These are the games you want to play. These are the teams you want to be up against. I'd love to go to the Bernabeu and face Real Madrid. But yeah, says if it's Real or Atletico in the quarterfinals, it's a 17th for Real, right? He's saying. But Real Madrid, listen, their team's been built to win the Champions League. That's why they brought Mbappe in. So
would you rather Real Madrid or Atletico if we did make it there? Who would you prefer?
I think I'd have to say I'd rather Atletico. It's not as easy, much easier game because they're a different type of team. They're like solid.
I'd rather Real.
Dark arts. So I think I'd rather.
I just want to see us against Real Madrid.
I think I'd rather Atletico.
I get you, more chance.
Yeah.
But
you want to see us against
Real? It, man.
Yeah,
I think an Atletico.
Let's see where we're at.
In fact, that's me.
Let's see where we're at.
But they could do
but
what
don't
they
you
did to
think
City
like
or
Atletico's
worse.
a tight game? That
100. That suits us more. You know.
Yeah.
You want to see us against the top.
It'd be a very rigid game, but
they could embarrass us.
I want to test.
Yeah, but that
Full
could,
test.
that could
Test
go
out
left.
the 9, and I don't mean the 9 up top. I mean, let's test out where this
the big team,
where this team is now, man. Because the owners, there's pressure on them now after January and the last 3 windows. When you look at them in accumulation, let's see where we're at against the best side in the world.
I would prefer Real. I mean, Madrid is one of the European cities that I've not been to. I've been to most European big cities. I've never been to Madrid, so to go there and watch Arsenal play, Real especially.
I could tell you, like, Atletico's a very hostile stadium to go to. It's a very, they're very loud in there. Probably, I'd say that's a louder stadium than.
When you say hostile, like just the loudness or overall in terms of experience?
You say louder than Real Madrid was about to say.
Yeah. Louder stadium than Real. I mean, I ain't been to the refurbed Real Madrid,
new one, yeah.
But that Atletico place is a big stadium. I'm sure it's about 70,000, 80,000.
It is big.
And
So it's Real, I guess what you're
it's
saying.
rocking.
Real's a bit prawn sandwichy then, is it? Is that what
Well,
you're
No, because when they're bad, things they make their
There's
voices
a good
heard.
atmosphere there. They've got their ultras behind the goal and that. But I'm saying to you that when I went to Atletico, it's the whole stadium.
Right.
Oh,
It's
okay.
bouncing.
Okay.
That place is rocking,
Real and
bro.
Barca
I'm
have a
telling you.
lot of tourist fans as well.
Yeah,
which-
that's right.
Yeah, the Atletico's more the
So
hardcore.
hopefully we get through PSV. Obviously it's not given, but hopefully we get through there. And I'm going to I'm going to try my hardest to get out there to Madrid to see either Real or Atletico. But in answer to your
PSV
question,
first.
I'd rather Real because of
Yeah.
the whole.
I don't know if we can get a
vibe.
poll up. Can we get a poll up on that, guys? Let's say, who would you rock? No, actually, no, don't do that. Poll.
No, yeah,
we
we were
ain't even
gonna say
beaten PSV yet. You know what I mean? No, forget, scrap that poll. Scrap that poll. I was just interested to find out who would people prefer. Who would people prefer if we
Ask
did
that
get?
next
Yeah,
poll.
because
Scrap that. We saved that.
because that PSV game, it's going to be a tight.
We got to play West Ham first. We're worried about Real Madrid.
Word. It's going to be a tight affair. I think West Ham game first, and also the PSV game. I think it's going to be very. It's not going to be like a swashbuckling game. The 4-0 at our place was great, but I don't think we'll be seeing high score lines in those both legs in the Champions League. I don't know if you might think different. You might think confidence in Arsenal at home. You might think they might score more, but for me, I think both games will be low scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall agree?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're probably right.
Okay, cool.
Probably right.
People aren't okay. That's why you shot me down earlier. You lot are going on like PSV.
No, we're right.
We're gonna get through them. Like,
Let me
you shouldn't
correct
be
you.
worried.
No.
That's how
As
you lot
me and
shot me
Robbie
down.
said, we said the word we would use is respect, not fear or worry.
You respect
That's very
everyone,
different.
Fearful of PSV.
You respect everyone.
You don't fear people. You're respectful of them.
But you
That's
respect
like-
every team. You respect every team.
You respect every team, of
Right.
course. But what I'm saying, fear and worry, you should not be fearful and worried about PSV.
Even in the situation we're in with the
yes,
players,
even now.
You're not worried.
No.
All right, cool.
You should be respectful, yes.
Say nothing. All right.
Fear and worry, no.
Hey, early March will be interesting.
Yeah.
Let's hope we get through.
I listen. If we're fearful of fearing PSV,
Worried.
then we've got problems.
Do you
Big
go to bed at
problems.
night worrying that we got PSV?
If I have the players situation, I'm worried about the situation we're in. So yeah,
No, I'm
worry
saying, do you
about
go
the
to
game.
bed at night, you can't sleep?
I don't
tossing
worry
and
about
turning.
nothing. I don't toss and turn
Well,
about
that's what I'm
nothing.
saying. So it's more respect,
But I'm
then,
not
innit? You
confident. I'm not
respect your
confident
opponent.
ahead of the game. I think.
No, but that's slightly different term again. I'm saying like you can have varying levels of confidence.
I have sleepless
what I'm
nights about
saying
our
is-
striker situation though. I wake up with cold sweats, saying
Worried.
we ain't got a 9.
worried.
So it's worried about that more than it
It's the
is
situation.
worried about PSV.
It's the situation.
Yeah, let's go in.
yeah,
I was just looking at some of
Situation's
the.
dire.
I was
Yeah, it's
looking
a-
at some of
it's a
PSV
mess.
results. So they drew with PSG 1-1 at PSG. They
Bloody hell.
drew with Sporting at home 1-1. We beat Sporting 5-1, but they drew with Sporting.
Oh yeah, fair.
That was when they had Ruben Amorim, right? I think.
Yeah, they actually lost 3-1 to Juventus in the group
the first
stages.
game, yeah.
Yeah, in the actual group stages. So
They
you know
smoked Girona 4-0.
they beat Girona 4-0.
Their last game in the Champions League was very tight. It was
They
very
beat
tight.
Liverpool,
Last minute.
but that was the Liverpool where Liverpool
time.
changed all the players, and they only just beat them. They beat Valencia 2-1.
Had some good results, man.
No, they're
Yeah.
not.
Oh, sorry, no, that's
They're
pre-season.
not a bad side. I know you know. We had no.
No, they're
bad.
definitely a decent side,
Well,
but
watching it.
they
No,
should.
listen, I respect them. I've said it many times. I watched them the
You
other
respect
day.
everyone. You come on previews
And I
and say
saw Noah
when we play
Lang do his thing.
Southampton and all that, man, you got to respect these teams.
Absolutely.
So you respect everyone.
You play
so-
sport. You don't disrespect your opposition. Otherwise, you come unstuck. I respect them, but where I differ from you is that I'm not going to lie in bed tossing and turning about PSV.
You mentioned the bed.
Yeah, we shouldn't be. If we are, man,
You
we've got
mentioned
problems.
bed. I didn't mention a bed.
Right, let's go through it again then. So Arsenal, we know, have drawn PSV Eindhoven. That is going to be the team that we're going to be taking on. The rest of the draw, difficult one for Liverpool against PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, who've hit real form. They've got them in the next round. Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. That's the tie of the round. Feyenoord versus Inter Milan. Borussia Dortmund versus Lille. Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. Villa will be very happy with that. Definitely a chance for them to progress as well. Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen. That is another huge game. Two German, the league champions versus the team that's top of the league. And Benfica versus Barcelona. That's a repeat of that game that took place. That very controversial one where I thought Benfica got robbed at the end of that game by a refereeing decision. Now, the two-legged ties will be played on the 4th and 5th of March and the 11th and 12th of March. We don't know yet what those dates are going to be. We await. I think maybe later on today they will decide on that, innit? The dates of those actual games. So we'll get to see when they
the
are.
exact date, yeah.
Yeah. What will those fall in between then if it's the...
Forest and.
Oh, no, they're going to be played on the 4th and 5th and the 11th and 12th.
Yeah,
are they
but,
giving the-
we don't know if it's the 4th
Yeah.
or 5th, I guess.
How
Yeah.
they did not do that? They
But
didn't
what
tell
we
us the
do know
dates.
is that first game is sandwiched in between Forest next Wednesday and Man United.
Yep.
Is the following. So,
Yeah.
It still says
And
When
then,
are they gonna
and
give
then
us
the
the date
11th
then?
and 12th? The 11th and 12th. What games...
I think
Is that-
will be
I need
Man
to know.
United and somebody else, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so those are going to make... And then if Arsenal were to beat PSV, in the next round, we know that Arsenal will face a quarter-final of either Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid. So the pathway to a Champions League final is going to be very, very tough for Arsenal. Will they be able to cope with it?
Just in answer to your question,
Tuesday,
we're
4th.
sandwiched in between Man United and Chelsea. That's
Okay.
second game.
It's Tuesday, 4th and 11th of March, yeah. Okay.
Right, guys, just before we go, PSV, do we beat them? Do we go through?
Yeah.
Do we go through?
Oh, I'm scared. Oh. Yeah, we go through. But it will be very well contested, but I'm confident we can go through.
Cecil?
He's rigid with fear. He can't talk.
No, I'm just. I think we go through just. It's going to be low-scoring games, but just very, 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 very close.
I think we go
It's
through.
gonna be tight, man.
I
It's
think
gonna
we
be
go
very
through.
tight.
And of course, we'll have it covered here on AFTV, just like we'll have it covered tomorrow. So make sure you look out for that big coverage, watch-along coverage of the West Ham game. That game is absolutely huge for Arsenal. An absolute must-win. We lost to them last year at the Emirates. Got to keep the winning streak going and put some pressure on Liverpool, who then play on the Sunday. And also don't forget the competition where you can win 2 VIP tickets to watch the Arsenal versus Chelsea game worth £1,500. It's £10 to enter, and there's 250 tickets that are going to be available. The competition is going to start on February the 24th. £10. Somebody was asking me yesterday if they can enter more than one time. You can. But you've got to be based in the UK, right? So that competition coming online on February the 24th to win 2 VIP tickets. You've got food, you've got everything within that. You're in a box for the Arsenal versus Chelsea game, courtesy of Raforte. So
Can we
look
go?
out for that.
Can I go?
Can you go?
Can you sort out? Well, you must be.
Well, you got to enter the competition. What do you mean, can I go?
Yeah, but you must know them and.
No, we don't work like that, man. You know what he's talking about? You know what I mean, you crook. You know what I mean? No, it's not open to you.
I like boxing.
It's not open to you. It's not open to you. The As a Junior was asking me, can you enter more than once? Okay, he'd probably go and buy 250 tickets.
Yeah, it's not many,
so
it's
you
a good
guys,
chance.
you need to jump on this fast. Listen, thanks very much for watching today. And as I said, we know we've got now PSV in the next round. Come on, you Gunners.